All right, so you know how we're always diving into these creepy accounts and stories and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this one you sent over, I gotta say, it's still kind of messing with me, I can't lie.
Yeah.
Like, forget those typical ghost stories. You know, the kind of ones that make you jump a little.
Mm-hmm.
This is from 2015. Someone shared their experience online, and it's about a suspected possession that just feels so real and raw.
Yeah.
Late one evening, this person gets this frantic phone call, and his wife, Rimpy, she just starts acting completely out of character.
Mm.
Like, no one had any clue what was going on. It was terrifying.
It's a pretty intense story,
Mhm.
and the author is adamant that this was a genuine experience, not some made-up horror tale.
Right, and what makes it even creepier is that it all starts out so normal. You know, like a completely ordinary day.
Oh, yeah.
You've got school, a birthday party, even just walking home, you know, just everyday stuff.
Right.
And then, bam, everything changes in an instant.
It's like that contrast really throws you off guard, right?
Totally. It makes the whole thing even more unsettling.
Like going from 0 to 100 in a second.
Exactly. And the author lays out who was at home that night. So we've got Rimpy. She's the one at the center of this whole thing. Then there's her 15-year-old daughter, her 10-year-old son,
Okay.
and their maternal uncle, who they call Mama, and then the father, who they call Baba,
Mm-hmm.
and their grandmother, or Ma. So this is a full house, and they all get caught up in this terrifying experience.
Wow, so a whole family plunged into this chaos.
Yep, pretty much. So what we're going to do in this deep dive is really unpack the story, you know, break it down piece by piece,
Yeah.
follow the events as they happened, see it from everyone's perspective, and try to make sense of it all.
Sound good.
So let's start with the son's account. He paints this picture of a pretty normal evening around 5:30 p.m. He and his sister Di are chilling watching TV. Their mom, Rimpy, she's done with her chores for the day, and their mama and Baba are still at their shop.
So like a typical family evening, just relaxing.
Exactly. Then boom, the power goes out.
Oh, no.
And, you know, it seems like a minor inconvenience at first, right?
Yeah.
But it actually ends up being the trigger for everything that follows.
Wow.
So Rimpy, their mom, she grabs a candle and heads up to the bathroom, which is on the terrace.
There.
Her kids are downstairs just chatting in the dim light from a phone charger. You know how it is.
Yeah, totally.
And then suddenly this scream pierces the air from the terrace.
Oh, God.
It's like one of those sounds that instantly tells you something's terribly wrong.
Chills down your spine, right?
Absolutely. So the kids, they rush upstairs and find their mom lying on the ground. But it's not just that she's fallen. She's talking in this really strange way, almost like she's plotting something.
That's creepy.
And then she just bursts into this uncontrollable laughter.
Wow.
They manage to get her back to the bedroom, but her behavior just gets weirder and weirder. They actually have to hold her down on the bed because she won't stop talking.
It's like she's completely lost control.
Right, and then it gets even more unsettling. She starts asking her children to let her leave and go upstairs.
To go upstairs.
Yeah, and she's using these terms of endearment like beta and Pyari Beti, son and beloved daughter, but she's pleading with them to let her go, almost like she doesn't recognize them.
That's so disturbing. Like she's not really connecting with them as her children.
Right. It's really eerie. And the maternal Uncle Mama, he comes in and witnesses this strange laughter. He's totally confused and decides to try and intervene.
So what does he do?
He goes upstairs to the thakur room, which is the prayer room, and takes some dua. It's like the smoke or fumes with a nice smell, kind of like incense, you know?
Yeah, I've heard of that. It's often used in spiritual practices, right?
Exactly. He thinks maybe it'll help calm things down, so he throws some around the room and then goes to grab his sister's phone to call the father because his own phone's dead.
Oh, right.
But as he's coming back down the stairs, something absolutely terrifying happens.
What happens?
He feels this force grab his neck and pull him upwards against the wall.
Oh, my God.
He even describes seeing a black shadow with a face in it.
Like a distinct face.
Yeah, it's super creepy, and his reaction is totally understandable. He refuses to talk about it afterwards, gets really agitated if anyone brings it up.
Wow.
He just runs downstairs chanting, Hori Bol Hare Krishna, covered in sweat, just pure terror.
That sounds terrifying. Like he really saw something that shook him to his core.
Yeah, no doubt. So they finally get hold of the father, Baba, and he rushes home, gets there around 7:10 p.m., and his encounter with Rimpy is just as disturbing as what the kids experienced.
Oh.
She's still laughing in that weird way, and she calls him Yakute Kabacha Konhai, which translates to, Who is this son of a dog?
That's so out of line.
Yeah.
Like she would never normally talk to him like that.
Right, and the author even mentions that she was ranting in Bengali, which might have been unusual for her,
Yeah.
and she wasn't even recognizing her own children.
So it's like she's not herself at all.
Not even close, and Baba is understandably freaking out. The kid's other grandmother wasn't home that night, so he didn't have that extra support.
Right.
So he calls their close family and friends, and like 6 or 7 people come over to try and help.
Okay. They try everything they can think of, reciting religious names and mantras, using holy beads like mala and ridrask.
Wow, so they're really trying to use their faith to help her.
Yeah, but nothing seems to work. Wimpy just keeps laughing and even starts insulting them, mocking their efforts.
Like she's resisting their help.
Exactly. It's heartbreaking, and by 11:15 p.m., they're desperate. They've been dealing with this for hours, so they decide to call someone who they believe can handle spirits.
Oh, wow. So they're bringing in the big guns now.
Pretty much, they call this guy named Mona a god devotee, a baba, or a pujari.
Someone who deals with spirits?
Yeah, the author describes him as this thin guy who shows up with his stuff, and even he seems taken aback by what he sees.
Like even he's surprised by how intense it is.
Exactly, so Mona sits near Rimpy and starts asking questions, but he's not talking to Rimpy directly.
Oh, so who's he talking to?
He's talking to what he believes is a spirit possessing her.
Wow.
He asks, "Who are you? What do you want from her?"
And what happens? The response he gets is super creepy. The voice speaking through Rimpy says it wants to leave because Wobula Rahai, which means he is calling me.
He is calling me.
Yeah, and then it adds that this he is waiting for her on the roof with a cat.
Oh my god, that's so bizarre. Like, who is this he? And what's with the cat?
Right, it's like this whole other layer of mystery and it just sticks with you.
Yeah, that detail is super unsettling.
So Mona starts chanting and whispering in Rimpy's ear like he's trying to get the spirit out.
Like an exorcism?
Yeah, something like that. And according to the account, Rimpy rants at Mona, but then finally falls asleep sometime between 1:480 and 2:00 a.m.
So she's finally asleep after all those hours.
Yep, and when she wakes up, she acts totally normal.
Like nothing happened.
Exactly, no memory of the entire night, and she even offers to make tea.
Wow, that's wild. It's like a switch flipped.
Right, everyone who came to help stayed the night, and the power came back on around 3:00 a.m.
It's like the whole terrifying ordeal just vanished.
Yeah, it's really strange. But here's the thing. The next morning, Rimpy tells her sister what she remembers seeing right before everything went blank.
Oh, what did she see?
She says she saw a black cat on the tin roof of a nearby building.
Okay.
And she says it just kept getting bigger and bigger along with its shadow.
That's creepy.
Right. She has this feeling that she accidentally stepped on the shadow and that's the last thing she remembers.
Well, maybe that's what triggered it all.
It's possible, and the story doesn't end there. Fast forward to 2020. The author of this account is staying at their house during quarantine.
Okay.
And they happen to be in the exact same spot where all of this went down 5 years earlier.
Oh, wow.
And they admit to feeling super uneasy. They kept all the lights on and only slept for like 2 hours the whole night, just overwhelmed with this feeling of dread.
I feel like the place itself still holds that negative energy.
Yeah, it's pretty freaky.
It makes you wonder if there's something more to it than just a one-time event.
Totally. So let's just recap the craziest parts of this story. We have Rimpy completely changing her behavior, saying these bizarre things like creepy laughter, her maternal uncle's terrifying encounter with that shadow figure,
Right.
the voice claiming it was being called away to the roof with a cat, and then Rimpy's memory of the giant black cat right before she blacks out.
And the author's convinced that all of this really happened.
Oh yeah, they're adamant about it.
It's a lot to process, for sure.
So the big question is what was going on here?
Yeah.
Could this have been some kind of extreme psychological episode, maybe something that affected the whole family because of stress or something? Or was it really a paranormal event? Like, they believe a genuine spirit possession.
It's hard to say for sure.
Right, and then there's the possibility that it's something else entirely, something we haven't even considered.
Like what?
I don't know, maybe something to do with their cultural beliefs, or maybe even some undiagnosed medical condition that manifested in this really strange way.
Those are interesting possibilities.
Yeah, and the fact that the author still felt that sense of dread years later when they were in the same place just adds another layer to the whole thing.
It's definitely not your average ghost story.
No, it's not. So, what do you think, what sticks out to you the most in all of this?
I think the thing that gets me is how everyone describes Rimpy's behavior like it's so consistent across all their accounts, even though the other experiences are more subjective.
Right.
And then you've got the uncle's physical encounter with the shadow figure. That's not something you can easily explain away.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it really makes you question what's possible, what we know, and what we don't know.
It definitely challenges our understanding of reality.
Absolutely, and you can't ignore the power of belief in a situation like this. A whole family united in their fear and their cultural context,
Yeah.
it all shapes how they perceive and interpret what's happening.
That's a great point. It's not just about the events themselves, but also how those events are filtered through their beliefs and their shared experience.
Exactly, it all adds up to create this truly unsettling and unforgettable story.
And that's what makes it so compelling. It leaves you with more questions than answers, and it forces you to confront the unknown.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think.
So, for everyone listening, what do you make of all this? Have you ever experienced anything similar? Do you have any theories about what might have happened to Rimpy and her family? Let us know in the comments because we'd love to hear your thoughts.
It's a story that stays with you, that's for sure.
Yeah.